My name is Claire Odongo. I'm the founder and creative lead at Interiors by Claire. We're an interior design studio, and what we do, we rebirth spaces. So basically, we bring newness into spaces. What inspired me? I think I was a restless girl in high school. I used to flip through magazines and see nice spaces, and especially true love, and that influenced my decision to take up interior design in campus. And then I was seated in an office and I felt restless, and in 2017, after a year, I decided to jump and start Interiors by Claire, and that was just a step of faith, and here we are 8 years later. What drives me? Excellence. The joy that clients have when they see the finished product of their spaces, the sense of fulfillment, and just beyond having a beautiful space is the wholesomeness of how our client feels. We have a strong inclination towards residential spaces, and you'll find families come together because we've created beautiful spaces, and the reaction of the client is, oh, could this be my space? If it's a workspace, the environment we've created for the people in the office, they're more productive. Those are the things that just keep on driving me, and it's different for every project. So the feeling is different. For the 8 years, I can never say that there has been a similar experience. It's different. Yeah, that's what drives us. So typically, we'll have someone call in a consultation. For a consultation, it could be a call, it could be a referral, and that's when the engagement starts. So typically, we'd tell our client, this is how we work. Then we do a consultation. So the consultation entails capturing the client brief. I believe that the true essence of design is capturing the spirit of the client, right from the brief to the finality. So if you don't get the brief right, you fail at your design. So we are very particular at capturing the brief. Once we understand the brief, we move to the design. So at the design stage, we come up with a design proposal. What does the proposal entail? It entails translating this brief that we got at the beginning, whether we went on site, sat down with the client, reviewed their plans, etc., etc. We translate that into an aspiration, a possibility for them. Because remember, you're trying to translate a thought, a desire, a dream, a vision they've had into something pictorial, something that they can visualize. And when we put that all together, we call it an aspiration. So it's the aspiration, it's the dream, something they've looked forward to. So once we've designed that, we call them in for our client presentation and said, hey, this is how we've translated your design brief. Now, give us feedback on it. What do you like? What don't you like? What did we get right? And that helps us really solidify the whole proposal. What does this stage do? It allows the client to see how their space will look like. It allows them not to have mistakes when the execution is happening or surprises. It also gives them an idea of how much this dream or this aspiration will cost, because the reality of projects is the numbers. So that's the driving force or driving factor of every project. What are the numbers towards this aspiration, towards this goal? So once they are happy with that, they have adopted the proposal, the budget, we move to site, we move to execution, we source, we develop schedules, we develop a program of works, we plan our fundis on site, and slowly by slowly, we start bringing things to life, and they pop in, check, are we on track, are we on progress? And by the time we are done, they have a very, very beautiful rebirth space. It's transformed, and we get to click the camera. Of course, first success is a very satisfied client, right? Also satisfaction from an internal point as a company is we've delivered the brief. we keep on saying, if we've not delivered the brief, we failed. You know, you can have a beautiful space, but it's not what the client wanted. So that's the key point. Delivering the brief for the client, that's how we measure. A happy client, and you will just know. It could be their reaction, how they just carry out themselves when you're doing a project handover, you know. Innovation comes into play when we say, this is what the client wants, this is how the space looks like, or this is what the space can accommodate. So our creativity and innovation comes in, how well can we plan this space? You know, it's a whole art. Sometimes a client is telling you a dream or what they want, and you're like, how is this one going to happen? How are we going to achieve this? So you really have to use your design skills, you know, and add 1 + 1 - 10 and see how are we putting all this together. And I must say, all this needs to encompass functionality and beauty. You get, it can be the most innovative thing, but if it's not functional and beautiful, but more so if it's not functional, you've missed out on the innovation doesn't really matter. So we are keen on ensuring that there's creativity and innovation, but top of it is it's very functional and it's beautiful. Another way we bring in innovation is how sustainable are the spaces we are working on, how sustainable are the materials we are using, from the countertops, from the boards, from the tiles. Even when we're done with our projects, how are we disposing these materials? And so it's just to say that we ensure that it's high quality and low maintenance. That's something that we're really trying to make consistent in all our projects, so that when a client adopts a design, it serves them like 5 to 10 years. And that's when maybe a change in trend that would force them to update their space, and not necessarily that it's bad. Challenges, I think, minus being even in a male-dominated industry, just being resilient. 8 years is no small feat. I'm telling you, I never imagined we would be here where we are. It's just been showing up, being diligent, being focused, trusting in God, being faithful, receiving feedback from clients, collaborating with industry players, collaborating with colleagues in the industry, taking in information from people all over the spaces. That's how we've overcome that challenge of getting to year 8. So the general misconception is that interior design is paint the walls, make curtains, arrange furniture. But interior design is geared towards probably interior architecture, a lot towards interior architecture. So you're planning the space based on the needs of the end users. So while an architect will design from the outside going in, an interior designer designs from the in going out. So their key element, or what they look out for first, is how is this user going to use the space. So they look at the wet areas, the mechanicals, the electricals, you know, every other aspect of bringing together a space. Also, there's a bit where people don't think you'd be on site with a fundi. Like, you can see our guys are doing gypsum work, and you've had to draw and put up ceiling heights and think of all the services that are going into the ceiling works, the skimming of walls, and how that contributes to a good paint finish. You know, it's the small details that people overlook and think that we've just come and put up nice furniture and the space came together. It's the selection of the materials. How cohesive are these materials, such that the whole space is flowing seamlessly, from the tiling to the walls, to the doors, to the paintworks, such that when you come and put your furniture, it's icing on the cake. It's like a nice baked cake, and then you've put your decoration. That's what the furniture aspect does. But the whole behind of the scenes, that's what interior designers do. Start early. Don't overthink it. When you're young, master your craft. I've mopped my site. I've done site supervision, I've done procurement, literally I've done everything. I've designed, I've held so many hats within the company. And that means you need to be very resilient. You need to have an inward drive. You get beaten down, you pick yourself up. You get beaten down, you pick yourself up. You make the mistakes, you correct them. You receive feedback. And I'll also tell you, don't try and figure it out on your own. Reach out to someone. The reason someone has gone ahead of you is so that you're not making the same mistakes they did. I don't think, and I keep on telling the young designers in my team, you don't have to figure it out. I've done the hard work. So when you're coming in, I've given you a milestone. So I've given you a push. So by the time you'll be at 8 years practicing as a designer, I expect you to be better than me. That's what I do for the women specifically at Interiors by Claire.